Hi everyone. I think I'm live again. And if you're around, please hop on. I'm actually in my car because there's people in my house and it always throws me off. And I want to get back on track with our Monday videos. And I hope my title of The Good Wife didn't throw you because I'm certainly not making myself as being the good wife or giving myself that title. It's a TV show, a TV series, and I'm not sure if anybody watches it. And I also know that the idea of watching anything on TV or a TV series is probably looked upon very negatively. But my husband and I usually have one ongoing that we watch either on Hulu or Netflix, and from the beginning until the end. And so right now we're watching The Good Wife, and I have to say it's probably the best, my opinion, okay, totally my opinion, is that it's absolutely the best series I've seen in a long time about for women and women empowerment and inspiring women. It's just, and it may sound a little sappy, but it is anything but. She is a very, very strong, I don't know the name of the lead in it. I wish I could tell you that. But when I watch it, and the purpose behind this video or this live is every time I watch it, I get so many new ideas in my head. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about The Good Wife. Well, she was, they lived in Highland Park, which is a very fancy suburb in Chicago. And I really like that because I'm about an hour and a half away from Chicago. And she was the wife of the state's attorney. And he had all these very illicit affairs. And the next thing you know, that they were on the screen, and he was, apologizing to the public, and you saw her solemn face. She was this stay-at-home mom with this, the dream life, or the pretend dream life of the big house in the suburbs with the kids and everything. And here she was on the world stage, standing next to her husband, kind of in shame, or not even kind of, that feeling of shame, as he apologized to the public for what he's done. So, okay, that was the very first series. So now I've ruined the first one for you. But now we're on season 6. And since that time, she's gone back to work. She's moved to the city. And she has become, what's the word I want to look at? I can't really call her a badass. I can say, which is what she is. She's a warrior. Nothing is going to stand in her way. She was this meek little woman who started at this law firm, and she's grown into her law career, and now she's actually in politics as well. And of course, this is all fictional. But every time I see a show like this, it reminds me that these circumstances that hit us in our lives so often push you to something better. And yes, I know this is a very if I can say the word, that would be great too. A very fictitious program, but the idea of where she was, full of shame and meek and having stayed home in what she thought was the ideal life. And sometimes that's really what the point of this is that I wanted to get to, is sometimes you don't know how much more there is for you. And when these things come at you in your life, and hopefully nothing like that happens to you, but big things happen to us that shift us or have us, fall off whatever we were doing, or shock us and hurt us. And that pain pushes us to that next phase. And sometimes you realize that next phase is really what you wanted in the first place. She is so empowered as this attorney, building her own business, really a role model for women, a role model for her children, helping the community. And yes, it is just a show, but I always think that how many times does that happen in your life, where something's happened and it's brought up all these emotions of shame, fear, guilt, and you've pushed you to that next thing, and suddenly you're pushing through to something you didn't even know you wanted before, where you thought where you were was comfortable. And I think that the reason I'm saying that it reminds me so much of my own life. I thought what I had was comfortable, comfortable in a career, when I stayed home with my children, looking back, I wouldn't have wanted any other thing. Now that my kids are out of the house and I got to spend all that incredible time for them and really help direct their lives. So that, of course, is bringing it to me. But I think there's probably a lot of things in that, whether you watch your show or not, that could bring it to you. But on the other hand of that, and if there's anybody on, I'm sorry, I don't see anything or anyone on. If you're looking for a good show, it is really amazing. It's kept us at the end of our seat, and there's only one other show in history I've ever said that about. So anyways, I just really wanted to say sometimes what these circumstances in our life push us to might be really what you were looking for in the first place. Maybe that was the life that you were supposed to lead, and somewhere along the line the universe helped you find it. So I guess that's my Monday's message. I'd love to talk to you anytime, and thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk with you in the group. Thanks again. Bye-bye.